so important. The social construct will trick you to think that providing is a gender thing when it's not. Providing is a human thing. If you don't learn how to provide for yourself, you're either going to live with your parents or live out on the street.
Right. Exactly.
Providing, being successful, making money, that is not a man thing.
Welcome back to the Abundant Behavior Podcast. I'm your host, Ali Banks. And today I have a very special guest with me. This is not only somebody that's a very good friend of me, but somebody's like a brother. Somebody that when I was going through a mental battle or a depressive state, they was there for me unknowingly. This is somebody who's definitely killing it in business. Great artist. You know, he makes music. Anything you could think of, this man probably does. But I don't want to take up too much of his time, take too much of the floor. I'm going to let him introduce himself, tell you guys a little bit about what he does and who he is. Without further ado, Tim Wright.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm great, man. How you doing?
I'm blessed and highly motivated, man. I feel great to be me.
For sure, man. So with this episode being about, men's mental health, I just wanted to touch on the topic of, social media, the 50 Cent about people bashing for being overweight or, you know what I'm saying, Tyrese Gibson crying on social media. Do you feel like people can be biased when it comes to like men when it comes to social media and showing their feelings or being vulnerable?
I think that anybody, that's a great question. I think that anybody can be bashed on social media. I definitely don't think it's a men or a women thing. I know the social constructs, the propaganda on social media, it teaches us to do that. Like separate men from women, like women getting bashed and men getting protected. And then you hear one man saying men getting bashed and women getting protected. It's all propaganda. I do think that in this new space that we're in, the algorithms, people are looking for attention.
Okay.
They're looking for likes and they're looking for comments. So when they see something that's kind of going viral on somebody else's page, maybe about 50 Cent being overweight, and I didn't see that, but I did see the Tyrese Gibson thing laughing. It was funny.
Right.
It's something that, in my personal opinion, bro, I think that Tyrese, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
like a rich man, he's smart. People who get past a certain level of income, they recognize that everything is about marketing.
Right.
We talking about that. Everything is about marketing. So for him to even get on his camera, post about it, why are you doing? You know what I'm saying? He was doing that to be, in my opinion, I could be wrong. He was doing that for the attention.
Right. Right. So, it's just the angle that people take it. Oh, men can't be vulnerable. They can't express themselves. People talk about them. So, that's definitely something I want to bring up. But
and we was very opinionated as humans. I think that when people don't have a lot of people, they only have opinions. Like that's all they have. They don't have any business. They don't have any investments. They don't have any relationships going on. But they are very, very, very opinionated.
So that's just human nature.
So they're going to express
put
that.
Their 10 cents with everything.
Got to give their 2 cents, their 10 cents. Most of these people who are commenting on these pages, you go look at them, they don't even have a profile picture. They don't have any pictures on their page. And that's because they're hiding behind their opinions.
Exactly.
And nothing else going on.
So is there at any point that you had a dark moment in your life? And if you could explain that a little bit, tell us how you overcame it and just a few things that was going on in your life at that time.
Yeah, 2017, there was a situation I was dealing with when I got arrested. I was in the Navy. I was arrested. They put me on the news, all that. It was crazy. I was on Wavy 10. They were sharing it on Facebook page. It was crazy, man. It was crazy. And during that time, they really brought me closer to God. Really, at that time I was in a relationship, and the lady the young lady I was dealing with, she believed in energy. There's just a higher power. And when you are around people who believe certain things, it's a natural thing for you to believe it too. I just really believe proximity as relationships is so important. But when that happened, I started to pray a lot. I started to read the Bible more. Of course, we always want to turn to God when we feel like we need it the most. But that actually opened me up because I overcame that. I pushed back. I came back, 10 times stronger. Started making way more money. And at that time, that was like when I really started to like, oh, wow, like, okay, I'm learning how to make some money. I could do this. But I feel like that dark season was everything. The valleys in your life are probably the most important times because you have to lean on yourself 1,000%. And when everything is going good, you might not be using your full brain to like pay attention to see, when things could shift. But when things are going wrong, it forces you to, or in a dark season, it forces you to look inside and pay attention to who you are and the decisions that you've been making. And I genuinely believe that the dark seasons in your life are just as valuable as the light seasons.
For sure. Yeah. So how do you feel about the expectations that are placed on men trying to be great fathers, trying to be, great providers, great boyfriends, husbands, brothers? Do you think that can send somebody into a depression? But how do you battle the expectations?
I think I don't think there's an expectation for men per se. I think it's just an expectation for people. Like, do you want to be poor?
Right, exactly.
I mean, so I don't necessarily think it's the social construct will trick people, and this is so important. The social construct will trick you to think that providing is a gender thing when it's not. Providing is a human thing. If you don't learn how to provide for yourself, you're either gonna live with your parents or live out on the street.
Right. Exactly.
Providing, being successful, making money, that is not a man thing. It's a human thing. So the social construct just have to be broken. And I think with men establishing and accepting that too, we'll start holding, not all women, because everybody don't need that, but the women that you're dating, you should definitely be holding them more accountable to what they're doing with their life. Okay, you want me to be the provider and all these things. Okay, that's cool, but what is it that you're bringing to the table? We talk about that, bringing things to the table, and it doesn't have to be money, but it's definitely not just your looks. Like, are you loving? Are you caring? Are you nurturing? Do you fix my energy? These things are all a collaborative thing that can be done on both sides, not just a woman and not just a man. But I think, to answer your question, this new world that we're living in, man, everything costs more. So the expectation to make more is just a natural thing. Of course, we scroll so much though, and everybody's rich online.
Right. Exactly.
So it's a natural thing for people who scroll all day to expect you to be what they see. But they're not what they see.
Right. Exactly.
And if you're a real king, then you are not afraid to admit that and expose that to whoever you're dealing with, so you guys can come to some type of agreement with how you guys are living your relationship.
Yeah, because honestly, I think that's where it lies. At is you have all this stuff on your shoulders, but a lot of times I don't feel like men want to lean on anybody as well. It's kind of hard to go to your lady and say, all right, I might be slacking right now on the bills this month. Can you help me? And a lot of women, they probably might not be in a position to help. So I feel like that right there is where that depression comes in right there, is that they know like they're the only breadwinner. They know like if everything hits the fan, it's going to fall in their lap, So, sometimes even if you go to somebody or like they might not be able to help, but it all falls on the man. You see what I'm saying? But you feel like that's a social construct, or
if you're paying all the bills and then you come to your woman and she doesn't have any money, what are we doing?
Exactly.
Why is it your woman? Your child. So now I'm going to blame you. It's your fault. It's your fault you're dating a girl who depended on you and have no desires and no purpose in her life. Weird.
Exactly.
I'm not on that. I'm not on any social construct where I'm believing I gotta pay all the bills. And although that is that is a desire, pay all the bills, take care of everything. Cool. That's my desire, not because I'm scrolling all day, listening to fucking Justin LA Boy and the Shade Room and DJ Academics and all these media outlets that if you look at them enough, you'll be tricked into believing that this is how you should be living. I got a tattoo right here on my chest. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind. Your life is your life, and it's so many of us out here. And for you to think that everybody does things the same is weird as fuck.
What do you feel like the best way for a man to adapt to change and overcome that change and just accept it and walk into it? Because I know a problem that I had was at first I was just battling with the person that I was, living in the flesh, with the person that God was calling me to be for a long time. And the way that I got over it, I just accepted it, But if you could give anybody some advice on how to just take that change and just transition into just walk in it, You know what I'm saying? And not be so afraid to walk in it, you know?
It's tough. Genuinely, it is tough. It's going to be a challenge because it's easier to believe what you see than to believe the truth.
Okay.
The truth is you're a king. The truth is you have the power to do something great in your life. The truth is you have everything you need to go get everything you want. But when you look around, you may not see that. So it's harder to believe truth than what you see. So it requires what you said is something that's very, very valuable. It's an acceptance. Mm-hmm. It's an acceptance. It's an acknowledgement of who you are and what you are. And the crazy thing about the acceptance is it's internal. I can't say, Ollie, man, you know, you the best speaker in the world, bro. You have to go show that. And when you don't genuinely, you haven't accepted that in your heart, it'll never be what that is. Mm-hmm. It'll never be what it is. But when you accept, damn, I am this person. I am an encourager. I am a motivator. I am a leader. Let me walk in that.
Right.
It's a day-to-day thing. You know, it's a gradual thing that you don't just wake up and transform yourself. It's a gradual build up. I mean, it is painful, but you know, a great quote is, if the pain of staying the same is greater, if the pain of change is not greater than the pain of staying the same, then you'll remain.
I like that.
So change is hard, but if you can sit in your home and be okay with the square footage, or drive your car and be okay with the miles that's on it, or go places and, you know, you got to shop here when you want to shop there. If that's not more painful to you than making a change, then you'll remain.
I'm definitely going to settle for it.
So you have to, it's okay to want more. It's okay to be starving, hungry for more when other people think that, man, you got to be grateful, bro. I wish if I would have had, well, you know, you don't. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't work like I work. You don't do what I do. So, of course, you won't have what I have. So, and you don't know how hard it is to push the work. So, of course, you're not even understanding why I'm frustrated and all these things. So, you know, it's important for you to listen to yourself. It's so valuable. Mm-hmm. You know, and this is why I think like praying and meditating is valuable. That's why we should be doing that, so we can learn about ourselves instead of taking advice and opinions from everybody else all the time.
So do you feel like in order for men to get to the next level, sometimes it takes for them to separate from the friend group that they have? Because I know that's a big thing.
Absolutely.
A lot of men they like, man, I've been with these my boys. I've been with them forever. Like, can't really leave them behind. Like, how do you feel about that?
That's a great question. The social construct is, you hear things like, man, you should do. Now, you're not supposed to, you shouldn't do that as a parent. Well, I don't think you're supposed to, bro, like, as a boyfriend, you're supposed to be doing this.
Right.
Who the fuck said that? Who told you, how do you know about what I'm supposed to be doing? Mm-hmm. Right? So it comes back down to having a mindset of your own. And you're choosing the life that you want, you know? Because if you don't build your life by design, bro, you're going to live it by default. Mm-hmm. If you don't build a life that you want, you're going to live the life that other people want you to have. And more times than not, they don't want a lot.
For sure. So it's just separating the elevate.
Separating the elevate is like very important, so you can have time to realize who you are and realize what you're thinking about. You know, a lot of the times we make our decisions based on what we think other people want us to do, or what our parents want us to do, or what our friends want us to do. And it's because we're around them so much. We don't take any time to ourselves. Going back to the social construct of, man, you got to talk to your friends all the time. Like, you can't separate. Like, damn, bro, you ain't answering my phone. Damn, something wrong. But as a man, as a king, or as a queen, you have to express, hey, look, if I'm distant, it's because I just texted my boy Tony just the other day, like, hey, man, if I'm distant, it's because I'm overcoming myself. Mm-hmm. Don't take that personal.
Right.
I have to become who I'm supposed to be. I can't talk to you every day. Sometimes I don't want to talk. And, you know, my boy Tony in particular, just give him an example. He's a great person, gives great advice, great everything. But sometimes I just don't want any opinions. Zero. I don't want to know what you think. Right. I don't care.
So you feel like the opinions can hinder you?
Absolutely.
Right.
Opinions can 1,000% hinder you. Because you know, as people, you know, we're always looking for agreement. Mm-hmm.
Like you say, hey, bro, what you think? I should go get how you think this look? You know,
man, that shit tough.
Yeah,
that's what you wanted.
Yeah,
you wanted me to agree with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Instead of just being like, if I'd be like, I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Them shoes, man, I don't really, you know what I'm saying? I don't really. But you don't want it. You don't really. You want the
Right.
You want the agreeance, but that's our biggest problem because when you recognize that is you're seeking validation outside of yourself,
Yeah.
and that's not the goal.
Right.
At least in my world, I can't speak for everybody, but
No,
I don't think that should be the goal. I think it should be, you gotta know who you are, and then other people will validate that.
Right.
You know who you are, other people will validate that.
They start to like watch you with the consistency as well. So if I have any advice for the men out there that's trying to scale anything up or walk into anything, got to be consistent. Because obviously when I first started motivational speaking, WFG, people would see me as, oh, that's just Ali from the Navy. But the consistency, now they see me as what I wanted, what I was walking into. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the consistent work put behind it, and the faith that it's cool. People will see it, they will follow, and they will support. I just got to keep going through it. A lot of people get stuck right there, like, ain't nobody messing with that new version of myself. Nobody wanted. I'm just gonna go back to this side where everybody was messing with me at. I think a lot of people get afraid to be lonely.
Facts.
It's a lot of people that they don't want to lose their friends. They like, this money not worth losing my friends. This success, I don't really know if I like this feeling. It was cool when I seen the Rolls Royce, the chains, the cars, but I didn't know it was gonna be like this. I feel like that's what a lot of people get to, man.
Words create worlds. When you say everybody and nobody,
Right.
it's really powerful. When it's only two people.
Yeah, in the room right
When
now.
it's five people, I said, okay, Ali, how many people you talked to in the last 10 days? Just using you as an example. If you said, man, I didn't talk to like 5 people, I don't really be messing people that much, Tim. Okay. But then when you change, you say everybody, nobody likes to know you.
For sure.
Nobody?
No,
Isn't it
yeah.
just 5 people you talk to though?
Yeah.
Everybody?
Right, so you got to expose yourself to more people.
Right.
Exactly.
You cannot attract what you haven't been exposed to. It's important, like words create worlds. If you say everybody, you genuinely think everybody. But that's just you choosing to you make yourself big in a big world. But it's the opposite. You're really very small in this big world. Like you walk to the mall right now. We was in the mall earlier.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a super handsome guy. I feel like everywhere I go, women be staring at me. Even guys like, he fresh. But also at the same time, I walk places and people walk right past me. They give no fucks about my existence.
Right.
0%. Zero. Like not even a little bit. And it's such a great awareness for you to know that, when you say everybody, words create worlds. It's not true. Everybody is not hating on you. Nobody does not like, when you say nobody, like that's very powerful. It's a strong word. Words create worlds. So, I'm very big on like checking people when they say, man, everybody like who is everybody?
Right.
You mean the 2 people that you talked to and asked? Because you were looking for that validation.
For sure.
You called them so they can agree with you. That's what you wanted. Instead of asking complete strangers so they can tell you the truth.
Right. So do you feel like when it comes to men's success and peaking, like it's a certain age where you should just like give up? Because you hear a lot of old heads, hey, young man, don't chase your dreams. You don't want that regret. Go hard. So do you think it's ever too late to reach that success?
Definitely not.
Or hit your goals?
Definitely not. Let me see. If we got on Google right now, how old was the dude who founded KFC? KFC founder was, I'm not sure how old he was, but I know he was in his 50s when they got into what he was doing. He died when he was 93, but he got into KFC when he was like 40 something, 50 something.
Right.
Died a billionaire. The people who own Walmart, the Walton brothers, they started Walmart in their 50s. They had to actually go generate some income for themselves and all that first. They died. As of today, you can get on Forbes right now, and they're one of the top 10 wealthiest families on Earth.
Yeah,
it's a lot of people on Earth, bro. I mean, so I think just those 2 alone, that's enough for you to know that it's definitely never too late.
Right.
It's just a matter of that drive, that push, that will. The founder of McDonald's, bro.
Right.
Ray Kroc. Ray Kroc didn't found he didn't find why.
I did a research paper on McDonald's. So
he went and stole it, but
he
went and took it.
And
but
then,
he was a 50-year-old
man.
He
was an older man at the time
when he took it, and he died a billionaire though.
Yeah,
multi-billionaire. Is it too late?
It's never too late.
Never.
It's never too late to chase your dreams. It's always an opportunity, and the opportunity is on. And I take, Wallow and Gilly. He He was locked up for the longest time.
20
Got
years, that's
out.
a long time, man.
20 years is a long time. With
We
no outside
a lot of us,
contact,
we're afraid
for
to
real.
dedicate ourselves to a year or 2 years of working hard to get to where we want to go. But this man just did 20 years in prison, out here spanking our asses in content creation, podcasting, products and services, everything, everything, killing it. And he did 20 years in prison. Most people would think, okay, he got out, he a convicted felon forever. He will never not have a felony on his record. That's not getting expunged. He did some real hard time. He was a multiple offense criminal.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? They closed a $100 million deal, bro.
So what do you think it was, that vision? He kept that vision through all that. Like, that's what I'm saying. Through those trying times, that brought me to my next point. What are some times when you felt like, man, I don't want to do none of this no more? What kept you going? Whether it was the content, whether it was just anything that you had your hands on at any point.
I've never felt like I didn't want to do anything because I know that leads to nowhere.
Right.
But there were times where it's just like, damn, like, what am I going to do? What am I doing? Like, just confusion. And I personally think there's beauty in that because the finding is for the seeker.
Right.
And to find your way is to get lost.
Right. Break that down a little bit more.
How are you gonna? Okay, I take you to the middle of Dallas, Texas, right now. I know you're not from there. It's a huge city. That's where I'm from. I take you there right now. To be lost, to drop you off in the middle of the nowhere. Would you agree that you're gonna try to find your way back to home or somewhere where you can get a phone call?
Exactly.
To get lost.
So I see what you're saying.
Is to find your way. We see a lot of us, we're afraid to get lost. We're afraid to go get in that dark space. We're afraid to walk down. It says, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. It did not say, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of peace and love and rich and joy and happiness.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is a part of the process. This is a part of the journey where you're going to experience that confusion. But the acceptance and awareness of it before it comes, is everything. But that vision, though, will pull you through. I think God is very, 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 very important. I don't push religion on people, but I think that everybody should have something that they believe in. Let me not say that because I don't know what you should do. I recommend, though, having something that you believe in outside of yourself because you see yourself every day, so you're not really appreciating your capabilities and your gifts and your skills. But when you reach to something outside of you and you speak to your higher being, he speaks back to you and reminds you that you're more than where you're at. You're more than what you are. You're more than what's in your bank account. And then the belief, faith comes from hearing. Over time, then you start to step into that higher vibrational state. So yeah, man, to get lost is to find your way, man.
For sure. So let me ask you this too. So how do you feel about, they say about the toxic masculinity? How do you feel about that? They saying that.
What do you mean?
Just, how like just the gender roles and all of that, the stuff like that, the male is supposed, like they don't want men to be strong and power and lead. Like, how do you feel about that? They saying that it's toxic. You know what I'm saying? They saying that it's toxic to be a manly man. How do you feel about that?
I don't really feel any way because if I wanted to feel a way, we gotta define who is they.
Right, exactly.
We do that. Like, would they say, well, who is they? Who is
just
they?
A few people on social media.
Right. And where are they at? And they're like, what are they doing? So should we even entertain
feed into that? Right.
What their level of vibration? Should we even be entertaining that? But since we're on the podcast, I will entertain it and I will answer your question. I think that all men should be leaders. All men are born leaders. All women are born leaders. Women, I don't want you to think that your man is going to lead you to your promised land. You guys lead each other. He needs you too. You have to watch his back, pay attention to him, nurture him. If he's money driven, he's very aggressive. Mm-hmm. Not like with you as an energy, but just aggressive in life. That means he takes more risk. He does things that you may not see like, damn, I wouldn't do that, but you have to be paying attention so you can lead him as well.
Right.
It's a collective thing. So I think that the masculine feminine thing, I get it. I honestly haven't did like a lot of research to truly understand the difference between the masculine and the feminine energy to give my full opinion. But I do think, just to make it short, men, you should be leading, but you should also be willing to be led. Like, I personally don't believe that a man is above a woman. Like, okay, the man is the head of the house and all that shit. We hear all these things. All these things are just social constructs, bro. These Europeans begin us to believe in, like being married to one woman and all these things. These all are just social constructs that people are trying to trick you into believe in. The white picket fence and all this bullshit. Like, design the life that you see fit for you in your life and run with that. If you and your wife split bills and that works for y'all, but y'all way richer than a man who trying to be the macho and he pay all the bills and his wife spending all the money because she don't have the mentality and he not really leading her, so he paying all the bills, but he letting her spend all her money on Chanel bags like they really rich when they poor, right. Then it's never. It's not a successful thing. So to answer your question, man, I think men and women should be leading each other. It's a value. I learn more from women than I do from dudes. No cap. I learned how to take care of myself.
No, I agree with you.
More from women. Like, bro, I was dating this girl and, she was going to the chiropractor, bro. You know what I'm saying? She was doing all these things, taking care of her body. I'm like, damn, how old are you? She was like 28 at the time. This was some years ago. I'm like, wow, like you really take care of yourself. I admire that. I respect that about you. Us, we just out here living, trying to get the money, and that's low vibrational. But being around women, like they care about themselves more. They care about the skin routine, and how they smelling, and like you in the bed with a girl and your feet ashy as hell and her feet not ashy. Like, just those little things is like, damn, you can see that they value themselves more than we value ourselves. And dudes, you get around a dude and he swear he that nigga because he got 100 in his bank. Like, that's a lot of something. Or even if he a millionaire, he up 10 million. I mean, money is relative. Having the money is great. Definitely want that. I'm not saying don't get the money, but it's just important, man. We all are gods. All of us. And you are a god amongst gods.
Right.
So you may be the shit, but for you to think that the person that's in front of you isn't the shit, it's just weird. And that's probably going to end up hurting you.
So what's some advice that you can give to somebody who's at a point where they feel like they should just be up right now? They're getting real frustrated with themselves. They like, I need to be super up. I've been putting in all this work. What advice do you have to give somebody that's just getting depressed? They're getting frustrated. They're getting down on themselves because they're just not where they want to be in life.
Man, sometimes, you closer than further. You right there. You just got to keep going. The journey is going to be frustrating. Sometimes it's going to be tough. But also, on the second end, man, a lot of individuals who, man, I'm supposed to be up. I'm supposed to be, I'm a very big believer that God has you exactly where you're supposed to be so you can learn what you're supposed to learn so you can be where you want to be. But we spend our time looking away from where we're at, and then we miss what we're supposed to learn where we at, never allowing ourselves to get where we at. But look, plain and simple, look, if you ain't where you want to be, ask yourself this. What are you pushing? If you're supposed to be rich right now, we're the brand. Do you got a product? Do you got a service? How much do you promote it? Do you post it on Instagram every day? Or you running ads to it? Are you telling people about it? If not, weird. Why are you mad that you ain't got it, bro? Success leaves clues. Everybody that you know who has a big business making millions of dollars, they are very good at marketing their business and they have a good product. They're using UGC, which is user generated content. These are the clues that the people who are already successful have. And so, a lot of the times, when I should be here, I should be there, that shit just ego, man. You should be where you at. You just want to accept it. You want to admit it. And, that may keep you there longer than you're supposed to be when you're in that denial.
For sure. Appreciate that. So I know you, it's a lot of fathers out there who may have failed short with their kids. They may feel like they have failed as parents or as dads. What's some advice that you can give towards that?
Man, just give yourself grace, man. It's your first, it's your first time living life.
Right.
How you know? How you supposed to know how to do it right? I think parenting is so tricky because you could be a man and making, $100,000 a month, but still be a terrible father when you believe that, well, I'm providing. I'm providing the money. But that's not providing. As a man, you provide love, you provide safety, you provide attention, you provide awareness, knowledge. You know what I'm saying? These are all things that align with you being a provider. So, if you feel like you failed as a parent, I would say, man, you have to be very careful with the women that you're impregnating. Man, wear a condom, man. Do not be nutting these girls, because life is so long, and you have to deal with the woman. Or if you're a woman dealing with a man, it has to be at least 18 years. They are not going anywhere.
That's facts.
It's just the truest thing. So that awareness, I think that'll stop people from just, you know what I'm saying, nutting in people so often. But if you're a father, man, you feel like you're trying to be a better father, pay attention to the mom. I remember when me and my daughter, we've always had a decent relationship. It's great now, but it was decent at first because I was focusing on being the provider. Mm-hmm. Well, I make the money.
Right.
I'm sitting your mom. I'm paying the bills. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. But that ain't shit though. Because this kid, my daughter is 6. Then she gives a fuck about bills.
No,
Anytime
she doesn't.
she wants food, she's never questioning, Dad, do you have the money for this? It's just that I want it.
Right.
So that their awareness isn't on your adult responsibility. So as a man, look, if you're struggling with your parent, you need to pay attention to the mother. 9 times out of 10, she's more loving, she's more caring, she's giving the kid more attention, more affection, playing around with them, just living life with them, and the kid is gonna naturally want to be around that more.
Exactly. Yeah.
Kids are the closest thing to God, so their energy is pure, so pure. So they're looking for the purest energy. They're looking for the most loving energy because they just came from love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like that. No, that's dope. Cause I had a challenge, you know what I'm saying, with my son. Me and his mother not together, so obviously it leaves room for other relationships. Excuse me. So she got a boyfriend. He's bringing him up when he's around, and so as a man, it kind of hurt me. It hurt my pride a little bit. But what it made me do is look within myself and be like, okay, so he always wants to be at his mom's house. What is his mom doing? Like you were saying, she's more present with him when he's around, not just on your phone scrolling. So what I did was I started praying, God, bring me and my son closer together. I want me and my son to be closer than we ever have. And I pray for this every day. And we just got getting closer, closer, and closer. Made a handshake. Now me and my son are as close as we ever been. And it's crazy. I think a lot of parents just feel like their kids are going to be naturally drawn to them because those are their parents. And I think the providing part, I got the money, or I'm putting up for this, I didn't pay for that. So you feel like, okay, well, mom, do the loving part. You know what I'm saying? And so something I had to learn, in which, you learn through lessons. And I think us breaking up taught me, like, you really wasn't doing the whole lot that you thought you was doing in that relationship.
Yep.
And it taught me that. And so from there, that's when I was like, all right, cool. Change what you're doing. Change how you're moving. You're frustrated because of X, Y, and Z, but what are you doing on the back end? So I think for men out there, man, if you feel like you're in a situation that you just can't get out of, you're frustrated, you want to be more present, just pray about it, man. And then work towards it, because faith without work is dead, so.
Look, the title between the two of you does not determine the love between the two of you. Mm-hmm. No, please hear what I'm saying. The title between the two of you does not determine the love between the two of you. As you get older, I always talk about this. As you get older, you start to see your parents,
Right.
Like, when you're a kid, you see, like, black and white for the longest time. Like, you're actually seeing blurry. When babies, they grow up, they go from barely seeing at all to start seeing blurry. Then they start seeing in black and white. And then eventually start seeing in color. Mm-hmm. When your son starts seeing in color, he get oh, damn, this is cool. Like, everything is just, right. You want to touch it because it's like, wow, that's yellow. Like, right. Ooh, that's pink. As you get older, you start to see your parents. Not for the title,
but for who they
they really are. Mm-hmm. And what you don't want to do is get to a point where you grow up and your kids see you, and they don't like what they really seeing, and you will recognize that the title between the two of you does not determine the love between the two of you. And it starts at a very early age, though. At a very, very, very early age. It's not about, oh, I'm your dad. You love me, right? I'm your dad. No.
Right.
I'm a human being in your life, and I'm taking care of you. I'm providing for you, but they don't care about that. I'm giving you attention. I'm loving on you. I'm speaking life into you. I'm hanging out with you. I'm being around you. I'm being present. That's value. When I make my daughter go take a bath and go brush her teeth, she always she smirks, but she can tell that I'm paying attention to her. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of value in that.
No,
She
for sure. Facts.
recognizes that I'm not just making money on these Zoom calls and I'm not paying attention to her, letting her do whatever. No, 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 baby, I'm paying attention to you because I love the fuck out of you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that draws in the love back. You know, she just came from love. So she recognizes it. You know,
Most
kids are so
definitely.
much more smarter than we give them credit for.
No,
They
most
can
definitely.
feel the energy.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're gonna go.
Yep.
They're gonna go where they're celebrated, not where they're tolerated.
Most definitely. Something I had to learn. So it's just something I had to put my pride aside, put my ego
Same, bro.
aside, and just
Same.
you want to get better then. You know what I'm saying? So
That's a bar. If you want to get better, get better.
it's just that simple.
Then-
And it's just something that if you want to get better, you know the necessary steps, man. A lot of times, us as men, we know the necessary steps. We just don't want to take them. We stubborn. We comfortable. We cool. But you tell it all the time, man. Until you get really dissatisfied with where you are, you just gonna stay where you are. It has to be a burning desire to get to the next level. And I feel like that's what I am. It just hit me, bro. Like I had to. All right, we did all this talking all these years. Come on, what we doing?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we could be our own depression. We could be our own anxiety. Like you said, that higher self is speaking to you and you're not listening. So that brings me to my next point. Do you feel like meditation is a great tool for mental health, depression, anxiety?
I think that meditation is probably one of the top 2 or 3 things that you can do in your life to heal yourself. You know, because we all have the ability to self heal. Like literally, people have healed themselves from cancer just with the right thinking, the right speaking of the words. This is Googleable stuff. Meditation is so powerful. You know, the definition of meditation is to become familiar with.
Okay.
So I meditate, 2-3 times a day sometime at a 15-minute, 20-minute time span because I'm seeking my higher self. And over time, as you continue to seek your higher self, I said before that the finding is for the seeker.
I'm sorry, that's what
And the more you seek your higher self, the higher self starts to speak to you and you start to move as if. And then over time, in my opinion anyway, the meditation allows you to become twins with your higher self. It's not something that happens in 2 months. It's not. Probably not something that happened in a couple of years. It's a build up.
That's powerful, man.
For you to really, really, really become familiar with yourself, because you got to think about how we live in these social constructs. Like if you're listening to this right now, I want you to just think about the last time you made a decision based on somebody else's opinion. It might have been today. It's a great awareness, and the only reason why you did that is because you're more familiar with what people want you to be than you are what you want you to be.
That's powerful.
So meditation is the thing, man. I got a quote for meditation, and I love sharing this because this isn't a motivational quote that I got from Les Brown, or I didn't get this from Inky Johnson. I didn't hear this from Bob Proctor. I got this directly from the source. When I meditate, anytime I get something in my mind, it came directly from God. And you have to be quiet enough sometime in your life for you to hear what God wants you to hear. And he told me something and it gave me chills. It just changed my whole life. And if you go follow me on Instagram now, social media, anything that I'm doing, you will see that I'm doing what I'm about to say. God told me, he said that the more that you expose your greatness to life, the more life will expose his greatness to you. He actually said the more you expose your greatness to life, the more I'll expose life's greatness to you. And, and then the next thing that I did was something typical for most of us to do. Well, God, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
Give me some steps. Order my steps. I already told you, bro.
Exactly.
Just told you. But he gives us free will. Right. What did you think I meant when I said that? You know what I meant.
Yeah.
You know it's greatness in you, and you know what you're good at right now. You just wish it was easier. Nah, go do it. I told you.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I'm walking it down right now, man. People will see over this next year the trajectory in my life. They can see it already, but I'm just walking in my path, man. Just walking in that. But I do believe that meditation is something that we could all benefit from. I don't know what you should do, so I never tell you that you should do it. But I do think that you would find value in it, because meditation, is to become familiar with. A lot of people struggle with meditation. They don't see the value in, like, man, I'll close my eye for 10 minutes, but I ain't really, I was thinking about all types of crazy stuff. It ain't really do nothing for me. But that's the first level of becoming familiar with. Like, you start to realize what you're thinking about. You realize how dark it is up there and how crazy you are. And you be thinking about all types of shit. You think about killing people, people killing you, all types of insane, crazy stuff. And nobody puts that in your head. What it does, it's a consumption thing over the things you see and watch and hear over your life.
Right.
But when you start to meditate, it's to become familiar with, you start to be able to control that energy and channel that. And it's like a smoke, bro. Like, it's like I'm getting chills. Like, it's like a smoke when you can clear the air of this lower level vibration of what you be thinking about, and you can go seek your higher self. And it's a process of seeking. The finding is for the seeker. Meditation is like outside of prayer, and it's just, to me. I mean, I'm just, 'cause I'm not running for president, so I'm not trying to be politically correct. It's just as important. So in my world,
yeah. So for the longest time, I was talking to Steven, and he was telling me he meditates.
Yeah.
And so just through you guys, I started meditating, but I really never had my own benefits from meditation until recently, when I heard about, you was talking about when people meditate and they think about killing, they can never declog their brain. But first, I heard that it's you have to exercise that muscle and it just get better. But one thing,
the muscle.
Yeah, you got to exercise the muscle and it get better as you meditate more over time. But one thing I will say is that what it does is, in your brain you have your prefrontal cortex, which is for your rational thinking, and then you have your amygdala, which is it's in control of your fight or flight response.
You said amygdala?
Amygdala.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in control of your fight or flight responses.
I didn't know that.
So when you go through traumatic experiences as a child, as an adult, you seeing a bunch of killing. What it does is that right there puts you in that fight or flight response, and then it makes that amygdala bigger. But what it does is it shrinks the prefrontal cortex. So you're no longer able to make rational thinking decisions. That also happens when you drink alcohol. It strengthens your prefrontal, it shrinks it as well. So your decision making is thrown off. So what you can do to reverse that is meditation. So meditation, allowing yourself to just be with the now and just to feel the air in the skin. What it does is it shrinks the amygdala and strengthens the prefrontal cortex. So meditation. So I tested it out. I did it for about a week, and I was just so calm and relaxed. Even in like hostile environments like the club or the bar, I was out that week, but I'm like, man, I feel so chill and relaxed. So just taking that God with you wherever you go, and not not letting the environment consume you. And meditation, it strengthens you. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely important.
Man, do it for a year.
A year straight, you got,
it's as a human, you gotta ask yourself, what are you consistent with? What do you do every day? We're so afraid of that. We're so afraid to attach ourselves to doing something every day. We're afraid to commit, terrified to, I'm gonna stick with this until it works.
Right.
A year. I'm really thinking 2 years. We talk about, I was in the Navy for 8 years. I got a beard, hair braided, you know what I'm saying? Making way more money than I was making in the Navy. And it's just like a glimpse. Like, damn, 8 years flew by so fast. It's crazy. But we don't really recognize how much time is an illusion and things just fly by so fast. But when you pay attention, like, what are you consistent with? The things you consistent with every day show up in your life, regardless of whether you wanted to or not. Your fearful thoughts show up in your life. You're afraid of going broke. It eventually shows up. Damn, I done fucked up all the money. Because you kept thinking about it. You was consistent. Meditate every day. 5-10 minutes a day for 1 year. Straight. Sunday to Sunday. It's never a day that you miss. And let's talk. Let's talk 365 days from now. I guarantee you it'll be a shift. Guarantee it.
Definitely.
I'm not sure if you'll be richer or not, because that's a desire thing. You have to desire to be richer. But you will for sure have more clarity on who you are.
Most definitely. And knowing who you are is super important. That's the first step.
To know who you are is to know who you're not. And when you know who you're not, it's certain things that you'll say no to. See, when you don't know who you are, you don't know who you're not, and you will say yes to anything. For sure. Any girl. Any girl that's giving you some energy. I see this all the time. Low vibrational relationships, Any girl that's giving them attention, bet. Any guy, he got a little bit of money and he handsome. Yeah, girl, he texting me, he pressing me on my line. And damn, that's that easy, huh? That easy. And that's
Exactly.
because, we're not really sure who we are. But what I realized about women, man, like we were going back to that, like women know who they are more than we do because they got standards. Us dudes, especially dudes who not really having any money, they lazy. They hate the fact that dudes want a girl with money. I mean, that women want to do with money. Just like you want a girl with a fat ass.
Right.
It's just
For
a
sure.
standard.
Yeah. No, most definitely.
It's just a standard. And what's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it.
I don't want my son to be dating a dude who, super, 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 super struggling. Like, yo, baby, like we'll circle back in a year now. Let him get his shit together. Y'all need to be dating.
No, most definitely. I feel like that's just that it is. That's one of the things. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's either you gonna get some money or you just gonna sit there and complain about it for
And
the
there's
rest of your
somebody
life.
for
You know
everybody,
what I'm saying?
man. All women don't care about money.
Yeah.
All
No,
dudes
that's
don't
facts.
care about money. And it's billions of people out here. Man, I think that I'm encouraging you to delete the social media app off your phone for just 1 week. I know for sure it'll make a difference in your life. No cap.
For sure. Well, man, I appreciate you for coming out, bro. You came all the way from Dallas, so I
Yeah.
definitely appreciate you pulling up. You dropped some amazing gems.
Appreciate that. Time flew by, man.
It did. It did, man. We met 3 years ago, bro, and you know what I'm saying? I definitely want to give you your flowers, bro. I appreciate you,
Sure,
dog.
man, I appreciate you.
This was a season finale, episode 12, Men's Mental Health. You guys stay tuned for season 2, and we only going to get better.
Yes, sir.